Hello again, groovy guys and gals. It's Barry with Barry's 8-track and classic car radio repair. And today's demonstration is going to be on a radio from a 1965 Buick. It was originally an originally an AM radio. It's now an AM/FM radio. We've done a modern conversion on it. And one thing you might notice about this radio is that there's no 8-track. Wow, imagine that. Out of all the radio 8-track units I do, when I run into just a radio, it's like a picnic. But anyway, it has just a basic FM conversion with the increased power output and the auxiliary input. So we're going to fire it up. Let me zoom in a little bit closer on this thing. Going to fire it up and run it through its paces, make sure everything's cool before we send it back to the customer. I've got it set to FM at the moment, I think. Okay, and we're going to run her all the way up and down the dial, make sure we pick up a good 25 or 30 FM stations, which is typical for this area after conversion.
Kavanaugh, but Senate Minority Leader questioning during Thursday's hearing with...
When Peter heard that rooster crow.
Is really the answer.
Cinema.
A pair of eyeglasses, and you...
Not how we do things here in...
Well, I never knew those...
Shawwacker, good to have you with...
Three conductors.
Okay, there's about 15.
This is...
Yeah.
Wonderful. Just...
And we're back. Thanks for staying.
Faith, Hope, Family. And check out the new Rescue Me contest.
Tomorrow I'll be here on the radio.
Okay.
Okay, somewhere between 25 and 30, I wasn't really counting. Let's switch it to AM, and on a radio that was just AM to begin with, to switch bands, we just turn it off and then turn it right back on within about half a second. So here we go, off, on. Okay, now you're hearing the usual AM interference type noise. Should be getting 2 or 3 AM stations here.
You know, the police departments, all the... And there's our strong AM station. Okay, so we're going to go back to FM. I know there's nothing else in this area on the AM dial, so we'll go back to FM and I can demonstrate the virtual balance and fader functions. Off, on. Okay, we're back on FM. And this radio now has a left-right balance and a front-rear fader control because it's able to operate 4 speakers now. Now this customer, I believe, is only going to be using 2 speakers, so that just means that we won't be using 2 of the speaker amplifiers, and thus the front-rear fader, if he's only using front speakers, for instance, it won't go into the front-rear fader mode because there's only 2 speakers in the system. So the conversion module senses how many speakers you have hooked up, and it adjusts its behavior accordingly. But just to make sure that it will operate all 4 speakers correctly, let's go ahead and get our output level meters in the picture. Alrighty, take our radio, upper left-hand corner. And I'm going to activate the virtual front-rear fader. We do that by giving our tone control 2 turns to the right. So the first thing I'm going to do is rotate this tone control to the center so I've got room to turn it to the right. And here we go, 2 turns to the right, then we should hear 4 beeps. Okay, there's our 4 beeps. And now this tone control is adjusting our front-rear speaker balance. Front only? Rear only? Front, and okay, I let it time out, so I'm going to have to adjust it again so I can balance out those speakers. No problem, we'll just activate it again. There we go. And I'm going to balance these speakers about like that. Take my hand off the control, we'll hear 1 beep, letting us know that that setting has been saved, and this is once again just the tone control. Okay, now I'm going to activate the left-right balance control. Same procedure, except we turn this tone control twice to the left. So here we go.
There's our 4 beeps. Okay, and now we're adjusting our left-right balance with that same tone control. Left only, right only, left, and right only. And I'm going to center the speakers, take my hand off the control, wait about 1 second. There's our beep letting us know that setting has been saved, and now we can return this tone control to how we like it to sound, which for most people is going to be mostly all the way up for maximum treble. Okay, the only thing left to test is let's test the aux input real quick, and this radio will automatically switch over to aux when we feed a signal to the aux jack. So let's just make sure, I'm just going to feed a quick tone into the aux jacks and make sure it switches over. Okay, there's one side on the aux, and there's the other side on the aux. So we got that working. And now it will wait 20 seconds before the radio comes back after using the aux input. And that's just because it holds onto that input a little bit longer than it needs to make sure it's not constantly switching back and forth between songs and during quiet music passages. So about 3-4 more seconds and the radio should be coming back. And then we'll test the dial light. Okay, there's our radio coming back. Let's test the dial light real quick. Let's put this thing back in full screen, test the dial light, flash that on and off a few times, and you can just see it flashing on and off in response to my command. Alrighty, so that takes care of the entire test procedure. Everything is working properly. She's ready to go back to the customer, and I'm ready to get on to the next job. And once again, where am I? Who am I? I'm Barry with Barry's 8-track and classic car radio repair. Needless to say, if you have an 8-track player, either for home or for car use in need of service, and most of them do, you can reach me directly at 928-533-9666. You've just seen what I can do with the classic car AM radio. I can add FM, and though this customer didn't request it, I can also add Bluetooth, USB reader, aux input like on this one, and you never know, maybe even a few other cool things. So once again, my number is 928-533-9666. My website is just below in the description. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.